Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Approach Mastermind Group 5 days of freebies with me. I'm Alex Collins. I am so sorry. There were technical difficulties yesterday, our first day of the week. Not for the first time, YouTube decided to throw me a curveball and things didn't really work. These things happen. So I'm going to spend a few minutes today just kind of reviewing a little bit on what we talked about yesterday before we get into today's topic. And I'm going to introduce you to what the Approach Mastermind Group is, why you might potentially be right for it. We'll tackle the 5 pillars of the Approach Mastermind Group. We'll close with a guest from one of our students from this year's Mastermind Group. And we'll open it up perhaps to a couple of questions. So I appreciate everybody being here. I've got my handy dandy coffee, even though it's 4 o'clock. My Hood mug, just got back from Cleveland, Ohio, the Hood School, where I got to spend a full 4 days with 120 plus actors from all over the United States, Canada, and the world. We had students from England, Italy, Portugal, Canada, and the US. Super fun. So, a quick introduction. What is the Approach Mastermind Group? It is a year-long, small group, diversified training plan for professional actors or actors seeking to become professional actors. This is not for beginners, not for newbies, not for brand new actors, and that's fine. You don't want to dive right into the deep end with a comprehensive year-long commitment like this. Go get some training under your belt, go get some tools in your actor tool belt, and this community may be right for you at a later date. So what do I mean by a professional actor or an actor working to become a professional actor? You've got 2 to 3 years of training under your belt. You've got a variety of different classes. You've got some understanding of how the industry works. Maybe you have an agent already. Maybe you're auditioning. Maybe you're even booking work. Some of you may even be right there on the cusp of being working actors. I love that. Each applicant to the Mastermind Group arrives at their application at a different place in their career, and a different journey, and a different geographical location. And I consider them all individually to be the right puzzle piece in the large puzzle that we are putting together each year with the Mastermind Group community. I don't just want actors who have a credit card to slap down saying, let me do this, I'll pay, I got the money. Because you may not be the right actor. You may not be the right tapestry woven into the fabric that we're putting together. And usually when something like that happens by March or April, that person has burned out or gotten bored or decided they've lost interest or they want to do something else. And that doesn't just adversely impact that actor, it impacts the entire community. And so we don't want that to happen. So that's why the application for the Mastermind Group is sort of essay style. It's not as elaborate as a college essay application. There's about 10 questions on it. The first 4 or 5 are really easy. And then the last half of the application is a little bit broader based, open-ended, where you can write a paragraph or a page. And I'm just trying to get a sense of who you are as a person, where you are in life, where you are in your career, and where you are going and where you're hoping to go. So that's the Mastermind Group in a nutshell. Because we had the technical errors yesterday, I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the first of 5 pillars of the Mastermind Group, accountability. That's what we discussed yesterday, so we're going to go over it really quickly before we get into today's topic and chat with today's guest. So accountability. Everybody's heard that word. We all know what accountability means, but specifically for you as an actor and specifically within our community, there's accountability to myself, to oneself. And that could be in your goal setting. It could be in your training plan. It could be in your overall personal commitments as an actor and as a human. And the most important thing with respect to accountability is every actor, you must know your no. What is your no line? For example, if you're a vegan, you probably don't want to eat beef. for a McDonald's commercial. You may not want to do certain content, certain thematic content in films or TV. You may not want to do nudity. And whatever the no line is for you, and that no line might move over time and it might move as you progress in your career, whatever that no line is for you is 100% entirely okay. What you want to do is have a really concrete vision of that no line so you can't get pressured once you're on set to kind of move the goalposts or erase that line and move it a little bit. Because there's a lot of pressure to do that. And you're just one person and there's hundreds of people counting on you on set. It's really important with respect to your representatives, your agents or your managers, that you proactively communicate your no line. You don't want to get that audition for the McDonald's commercial when you're a vegan and you go through that commercial, that self-tape, and you kick butt. They bring you in for a callback and they love you and they send you the offer. And then your agent says, congratulations, you booked this McDonald's commercial. And then you have to say, gosh, can you tell them I can't eat the Big Mac? I'm not going to eat the burger. That's a problem. Because now you've created a problem with your relationship with your agent, the agent's relationship with casting, casting's direct relationship with the production, and the production's relationship with their client. You can proactively address all of this with your agent and say, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this. Your agent's not going to have a problem with it. They're going to have a problem with you riding the fence or never communicating that to them. That's a problem, okay? So that's kind of accountability to yourself. There's accountability to others, your family, your significant other, your friends, your agents and managers, like we talked about, your teachers. For your teachers, do you show up every week fully prepared? Do you give your best effort? Are you open to feedback and instruction? If so, great, you're being accountable to yourself and to your teachers. With respect to your friends, your family, your roommates, your significant other, accountability comes into play sometimes when you might get an audition that requires your sole focus, your sole energy, even if you already have dinner plans that night and that audition comes in and you're going to have to say, I'm so sorry, I need to cancel dinner. Or, hey, I know we have dinner at 7, can we make it 8 or 8:30? I've really got this thing I have to focus on. Because what we do is freelance in nature, what we do is last minute in nature, what we do is flexible in nature. Sometimes it requires a little bit of sacrifice. But if you establish boundaries through the form of accountability with those people in your orbit, they're going to start to understand that and they're going to start to respect that. Those forms of accountability also might come in the form of office hours. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to noon. I'm not available. Don't ask me for coffee. Don't ask me to help you tape. Don't ask me to look after the kids. I'm at work. Even if you don't have an audition, you might be preparing for class, or you might be preparing for an audition, or you might be doing research, or reading a script, or whatever it is. And all of those things are really, really important with respect to your own boundaries, and you're being accountable to yourself and to others. Really, really important there. And within the mastermind group, accountability is a big deal. We have a 24/7, 365 WhatsApp group. We have classes. We have homework assignments. We have a monthly industry chat, and that requires a degree of professionalism and accountability. If someone shows up to a class underprepared, I'll let them know. The better thing to do is say, hey, gang, that's on me. I'm not fully prepared this week, so I'm not going to put up substandard work. I'm not going to put up work that is half-assed. I see y'all worked really hard, and it's disrespectful for me to do that, so I'm not going to do that, but I'd happily be your reader for class, or I can just observe. You can still learn an awful lot just by observing. Take a look at the link right down there. Give you the link to learn more about the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs of what the mastermind group entails. And so accountability really covers a little bit about what we discussed yesterday. Today's topic is the business of the business acumen, business knowledge. It's actually really time relevant because while I was in Cleveland this weekend working with about 120 different actors, my workshop was all about the business of the business, specifically paperwork. We spent a considerable amount of time talking about agency contracts, all the terms that you need to look out for, all the potential pitfalls that could exist in a contract, the different types of contract, whether that's a SAG franchise or an ATA contract, what questions to ask during an agency meeting. We talked about employment contracts. Those are the contracts you're going to see when you get offered a job. You show up the first day of work and that contract is going to be in your trailer. We talked about what things to look out for, what to take photos of, what potential problems that could exist. One example, if you book a SAG-AFTRA commercial, what you want to make sure you look at, in addition to a number of other things, but you really want to look at the usage of that commercial. Class A usage is different than Wild Spot. Wild Spot is different than internet only, and they all have different pay scales that go along with them. And it's important that you know the difference so your brain, your red flag or yellow flag or green flag triggers when you see it. If you know you auditioned for a Class A commercial and you booked a Class A commercial and your contract says internet only, you're going to want to bring that up to the PA and bring that up to the AD before you sign it. Once you've signed it, it's going to be a lot harder to undo that work. It's really important. We also talked about this. When are most of your call times? Think about it. When you book an acting job, when are most of your call times? They're pretty early in the morning, right? Usually like 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Well, what if there's a problem on day one with your contract? Is your agent's office open at 6 a.m.? No. Do you have a 24-hour contact number to get a hold of your agents? You should. If you don't know what your agent's 24-hour emergency contact number is right now, you've got homework after we finish this chat. You should probably know that. So the next time you're on set, if something is amiss with your contract, you don't have to worry about that. At the end of the day, on a union set, everybody gets a timesheet or gets to sign a timesheet. It's called an Exhibit G. We talked about the importance of the things to look for on an Exhibit G, because that is going to dictate how much you're going to get paid based on the information that's on that Exhibit G. Is your in time correct? Is your out time correct? Is your wrap time correct? Are there any meal penalties or other penalties? It's really, really important that you take a photo of that. So a couple of weeks after you wrap that job, when you receive your paycheck, you can compare your paycheck against your Exhibit G, which you compared against your contract to make sure everything is shipshape. If it is, no problem. You're good to go. Cash that check. Enjoy. If there's a problem, you know how to follow up. You still cash that check. You still move on. And what happens? You then file a claim. Say, hey, we worked for 12 hours with a 1 hour lunch. That means 11 hours. I should have been paid for 8 hours. And then 2 hours of overtime at time and a half. And then an hour of overtime at double time. So those are really important elements of communication with respect to paperwork that you must know. Putting all this information into your phone, all the photos, all the voicemails, all the text messages that you get from production, that's really important. And then when I wrap a job, what I do is I airdrop all of that information to my computer and put it into a folder. That way I have it later on saved safely in case there are any problems and I need to file a claim or wait for that claim to be resolved. Pretty awesome stuff right there. Give me a second as I catch my breath. See the link at the bottom there. You can see that there's the link to the mastermind group, which gives you even more information specifically about the ins and outs, what's going on with each facet of the mastermind group, each of the pillars, how we cover that, how we address that. If you're interested in applying for the mastermind group, there's a link, or there's a button at that link. You can get signed up for the newsletter. That's probably how you got here anyway. And that will let you know when applications open. Applications open on September 1st. You'll be notified and you'll get an email of that. And they're open from September 1st to September 15th. I will be reviewing them on a rolling basis, just like your audition self-tapes, like casting directors say, as they come in. I'll be giving them ample time, reading all of your answers. And the things I've been so impressed in the 2 years that we've been doing this, is the amazing, vulnerable, honest, really cool answers that we get from applicants. I love it. So on the 15th, we'll close applications. I will review. I will announce individually to each person who has been accepted into the group or who may not be accepted into the group for 2026. I'll give them some feedback on why they were not accepted into the group, some encouragement for future opportunities, and then we will make an announcement for the 2026 community, and then we'll move forward and we'll be really excited. I'm going to invite one of our guests into the group, and we're going to chat a little bit. I just got to go find our guest here. Hold on one second. Where is he? Okay. Let's bring him in right here. Ethan!
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
It's going really well. How are you today, buddy?
I'm good, man. You've got a lot of static. I don't know if it's on my end or what.
Yeah, I can hear it on your end, but you sound great. You sound great. I know I sound a little scratchy, so I don't know what's going on here. So just in general, we're going to talk a little bit about the business of the business today. But you are a current member, a 2025 member of the Mastermind Group, and just in your own words, on any of the topics that we cover in Mastermind, what do you love most about Mastermind Group?
What I love most is the community. Just like the aspect of, I'm in Kentucky, like you said that already. So like, I don't know a lot of people that do this to the extent that we do, as far as like, trying to make this a professional career. So to have the same people that have the same drive, that are having the same goals, and also just the competitive nature. Because I've been in classes where like people just aren't taking it seriously. They don't show up memorized. They don't show up off book. They don't show up like they prepared it at all. And they just treat it like a joke. So like to have people that come in prepared every single day, I know that I've got to be on my A game. So that competitive nature also helps a lot as well.
Love that. I really love that. So in terms of the business of the business, paperwork and contracts and things like that, are there any nuggets that you've been able to take out of Mastermind so far that you can think of off the top of your head?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't remember the exact form. I think it was an F or whatever. But whenever you mentioned that you can still do industrials as a SAG member with was it the SAG? What was it called again, Alex?
It's the OPO.
OPO, yeah, like the one. I should know this. I'm getting quiz. This isn't fair.
one production only. Yeah, you're right.
One production only. Yeah.
But you know that if you booked one of those as a union member, you'd be like, oh, I got to look into that thing. So the light bulb is there. That's good. Anything else that jumps out at you?
Yeah, I mean, just especially with the thing about Mastermind, it's something that is current. So like, it's not like we're watching videos that are from 5 years ago. Like you can always, every single class, we have like a 20-minute, 25-minute discussion about the current things that are happening in the industry. For examples, we've talked a lot about vertical shorts, which I'm sure a lot of people, like I've actually had friends ask me like what we're learning from you, just because they're not getting that information from their managers. They're not getting that information from the coaches they're working with. And like, that's something that I think is very pertinent, is to stay in the know of the things that are happening. And I'm sure that you had the same thing happening when you were, because you did the Mastermind during the strike, right?
We did it in 2023. That was our inaugural year. So there was definitely a lot of challenges during that strike. Nobody was working, obviously.
Yeah. So I think that one of the biggest things too is like, and I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it here too. Like the amount of money that you're spending for Mastermind, you're going to spend that, if not more, yearly for all your if you're taking it seriously, for all your coaching, for all of your different necessities, as far as like if you want a consultation, if you want this or that for headshots. I'm like, we go over all of that stuff in Mastermind. So to me, it was a no-brainer, because everything is just kind of factored into one. And honestly, Alex, like there's so much more than I even expected to be in Mastermind that we went over and covered. So kudos to you, because you've made it an excellent program.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And that's a perfect light bulb for me, because I hadn't even planned on talking about the consultations today. But as part of Mastermind, we do a one-on-one at the beginning of the year. and then we do a wrap-up one-on-one at the end of the year. So at the beginning of the year, we go over your actors access, we go over your industry questions. So it's really designed to get your actor package into A+ shape. How did you find our one-on-one session?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of what was specifically talked about this year, um, that I've taken into account. I mean, for one thing, I booked the biggest thing of my career so far. I mean, I can't talk about what the production is, but it was a SAG production, a SAG-Low theatrical. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't have booked that if I wasn't doing Mastermind consistently, because it strengthened my auditioning skills. It strengthened my scene analysis to the point that the director himself was like, that was a great audition. Just do what you did on the audition and you got it.
Love that. So within our community, all of the members that we have, I think every actor sees other actors in the community who might be farther along than them. Do you take that as a positive? Do you take that as a challenge and as motivation to keep working harder?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, it's very competitive. I'm very competitive in general. I don't know if anyone else is that competitive, but I'm just very competitive in general. So if I see Lauren book something, Lauren Foster, if I see Lauren book something, I'm like, well, I got to book something now too. I got to match that. I got to match that in.
So it's that good-natured, fraternal, like motivating, competitive nature you're talking about.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, everyone always says like that acting classes should be like training in the gym. And I've really felt that with Mastermind, because we are literally training our muscles. Like we just did a Sorkin script. That's training memorization to a level I've never done in my life. So like, because I don't really do theater. Like I do mainly film, TV, commercials. So like I've never really had the experience of, since probably high school, of learning that much dialogue and being word perfect, honestly. So that was amazing.
That's a great point. Is there anything you're looking forward to in our last, we're near the end of August, so we got the last 4 months of the year. Anything you're really excited? Any of our speakers or anything like that?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you have Erica Arvold coming in Thursday.
Erica Bream, yeah.
Yeah, Erica who?
Erica Bream.
Oh yeah. You have Erica coming in on Thursday, and like originally I was going to have to work, but I made sure to just switch that around because I wanted to make sure that I got in front of her radar.
Oh, so nice.
It's amazing that you're bringing in these, and then you've also had series regulars on that told us exactly like what's going on. It made me really feel more comfortable when they were even struggling with getting auditions in this year, because I mean it just kind of puts things into perspective. And just to kind of piggyback onto the consultation too, I'm making the jump now to move to Georgia, so I'm very much looking forward to our consultation. So
that's cool. That's super awesome. I love that. Well, Deaton, I know you're on a tight timeline. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to wrap it up here. I just want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank you for committing to the Mastermind Group. I'm going to give you the opportunity to sign off on the mic. If anyone's thinking about applying, if anyone might be kind of on the fence or worried about it, what would you say to them?
I would say do it. If you are someone who already has a couple credits under your belt, you're not new, but you're noticing that you're not getting callbacks, or like, I mean, even every audition I've done this year, just about, I've had a callback. So that tells you something right there. Like, I may not have booked it, but I've had a callback. I just did a callback for a SAG MLB feature film Saturday. So that tells you right there that whatever we're doing is right, because we're showing that you can act. That's the main thing. Is like I've gotten out of the habit of, oh, I have to be exactly what they're looking for. I just do it now. I just show them that I know what the scene calls for. I know what I'm doing. I've done this long enough, and I put myself into it, and that's been the difference, I think. So yeah, I'd say if you're worried about, because I feel like a lot of people are worried about financially. I was, but again, if you just do the math, how much are you spending if you're doing 300, 500 a month on classes, and then on top of that, you pay another 150 per consultation with someone. And the thing is, like, I don't know if you've mentioned this, Alex, but before we even started, we did the boot camp. We did the financial courses.
Right.
So we did all of this before we even started Mastermind, and it was all included.
Right, and the books that you get to assign to read and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, Deaton, I love that, man. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing that. Keep kicking butt. We'll talk.
Absolutely.
I'll see your face tomorrow in class.
Yeah. And just a quick shameless plug. if you want to hear more from Alex, he's going to be on our podcast of Traveling Actors. We're filming that next month. I'm really excited about that, Alex. Can't wait to talk to you about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Deaton. Appreciate you, buddy. Get back to it.
Yeah,
All right, bye-bye. Awesome. So in our last couple minutes together, you heard from someone who's currently going through it, someone who is in the trenches with us week in and week out. They're not in Hollywood. They're not in New York. Deaton is in Kentucky, and he's making it happen. He's on the path to becoming a working actor. He's working in the independent market. He's networking with people in and around Kentucky and other states. He just worked on a big project, like he said, that he can't talk about. He just worked as the lead opposite somebody very well known in a really big emotional arc feature film as well. So it's happening. And I just want to, if you take a look down in the link right there, one of the things we talked about was the consultations, where I do a one-on-one with each of you, each of the members of the mastermind group, and we go over all of your industry questions at the beginning of the year. I go over your actor's access, your resume, your headshot, your demo reel, your castability, what's working for you, what's not, what you need to sharpen and focus on. And that gives you a target to work through throughout the year that we spend together. And then at the end of the year, we have a wrap-up one-on-one chat where we get to just have a conversation about how the year has gone, how your materials are looking, what you want to focus on for the year after we finish working together. So you'll be left not to your own devices, but you'll be left with another 365-day plan for that second year, that year after we work together. But as one of the freebies right there in the link, you can get my Decode Materials course. That's like having me on your shoulder. We're not going to get to have two-way communication, but for the next 24 hours, you're going to go through all of the steps that I include in my consultations. You're going to get to know the tips and the tricks and the questions that I ask of myself and the questions that I ask of my actors to find out how they can make their materials the sharpest they can be, the most competitive they can be. And that's it for today. I know we said we talk about 30 minutes and we're right at about 28 minutes. So we did a little review about accountability. We did a little bit about the business of the business and some paperwork and some consulting and stuff like that. And Deaton even touched on community. Community is the topic of our conversation tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join us. I moved the wrong way. The reverse is always funny. Until then, don't quit. Keep it up. We'll be here tomorrow. You come back and join us. And you're telling stories. You're doing it just by showing up. You're investing.